Welcome back. This episode is part 2 of a series for the journey of a keyword. In the first part, we talked about choosing the right keyword, so definitely have a listen to episode 32. In episode 33, in this episode, we'll be talking about setting up keyword tracking.
So today we're going to be diving into a critical step that separates guesswork from strategy, setting up keyword tracking. Think about it. How can you optimize your website if you don't know what's working? And without tracking, it's like trying to win a race with your eyes closed.
You can't win a race with your eyes closed. In this episode, we'll walk you through the tools, the setup, the metrics that matter. We'll use real-world examples to make this more real for you. We'll focus on our example we started off in part 1, Loft Conversions Mayfair. Whether you're just starting your SEO journey or refining your strategy, this is the foundation. You need to measure your progress and make those informed adjustments.
Let's get tracking and take the guesswork out of growth. Let's jump in.
Hello and welcome back to the Marketing Podcast for Local Businesses, the place where small business owners turn dreams into reality through smart marketing. My name is Adam. I run websitesdesigners.london. We are an online marketing agency which is ranked in the top 1% in the UK and London, helping businesses generate tens of millions of pounds.
And my name's Josh. I'm the founder of ImproveMySearchRanking.com, a specialist SEO agency based in London. Over the years, we've helped more than 400 businesses generate well over £200 million in sales.
Amazing. So let's get right into it, Josh. So talk to us about setting up keyword tracking after you've identified your particular keywords.
Yes, so once you've picked out your keyword, you then need to start tracking its performance over time. Otherwise, there's no point doing any of this in the first place. So there are several ways you can track keywords. And to do so, you will need to use some third-party software. So there is some cost involved in this. There are a variety of softwares out there. There is actually a free one as well you could use. So the ones that I would personally recommend are Moz and Semrush. There are other ones like AccuRanker, Ahrefs, and you can also use the Google Keyword Planner. The Google Search Console software as well, which is free from Google. Albeit I feel it's not always that accurate. So you could use Moz, Semrush, Ahrefs, AccuRanker, or Google Search Console, plus hundreds of other softwares out there. So that's the first step, is just to pick some software.
Okay, and that's super helpful. So you mentioned Moz and Semrush as your favourite, is that right?
Yes, yep.
Why?
Just I'm most familiar with them, to be honest with you. So
Okay.
I've used those for 10 plus years, and they're great services.
Okay, and do you use both in conjunction with one another, or is it one or the other typically?
You only need to use one. So we have a mix just because we've maxed out how many keywords we can use in one of those. So
you don't want to pay for the next plan.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, look, just talk about pricing here, just to give you guys an idea. And we're always cognizant of, being cost effective for you. So, in terms of, by the way, it's the 21st of December that we're recording this, 2024. So prices may change. As of today, Moz Pro is the cheapest plan. Starts off at $99 a month on the annual billing program, and you can track up to 300 keywords. That's roughly around £77 a month. Mm-hmm. For Semrush, that costs $129.95 a month on the monthly billing, or $108.33 on the annual billing. But that's obviously a month. You can track up to 500 keywords. That equates to roughly around 101 quid. So 101 quid a month versus 77 quid a month for Moz, and then Ahrefs, they charge 77 quid a month. AccuRanker charge 110 quid roughly a month. So look, in terms of cost effectiveness, start with Moz. We'd say it's 30 quid cheaper if money isn't an issue. Either way, Moz or Semrush, Josh mentioned, are good at each other. So I'm a Moz kind of guy. And it's cheaper as well.
Perfect.
Over to you.
Yes. So firstly, you pick our software. So once you've done that, You then very simply need to log into that software, and it's very simple, step-by-step guides available on each of those websites. You basically set up a campaign, you input your website address, and then you pick the keywords that you want to track. So if your keyword was Loft Conversion Mayfair, you copy that, paste it into the software, press the track button, and then you're going to get either daily, weekly updates on that keyword performance over time.
And before we go, they offer a 30-day free trial. Give it a shot. It's really, 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 really helpful. We don't get any money for recommending it to you. They have a load of features as well. It'll tell you you can use this instead of Keyword Planner as well for
keyword research.
Right? So what we talked about in part one, because again, you don't have to. If you're paying for it, you might as well use it as well, because I think it has a few more features, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
Yeah.
So in part one, we talked about choosing your keywords and understanding the monthly volume for each keyword. You can use Moz as well as keyword research, which is free, but if you're paying for Moz, use it. It tells you monthly volume and difficulty. And as Josh mentioned, you can track your performance, and we'll talk about improvements and adjustments later on, which Moz can help you do as well. But it has a neat dashboard, so it kind of tells you the various keywords, the total number of keywords. Give it a shot. It's moz.com. Over to you, Josh.
Yeah, so the final step in setting up your keyword tracking is basically just to review your performance over time. So we've chosen a software, we've inputted our target keywords, and now we just need to monitor the performance over time. So later on in this episode, we're going to speak about how to actually improve your performance. But at this stage, we want to kind of benchmark where are you today, and obviously improve that over time. So if you're a new business, you might be ranking 100th place plus, and this software is going to tell you where you appear, and we can then improve that going forward.
Amazing. So look, 3 steps there. Choose a tracking tool. Let's go to moz.com. Set up your keyword tracker. So type in Loft Conversions Mayfair, whatever the keyword you've chosen, and then just monitor them regularly to make sure you're making progress. It's easy as that for step 2, setting up the keywords. Let's move on to step 3 of the process. Again, if you're wondering, just to reiterate, we covered step 1 in episode 32. In this episode, in episode 33, we're going to be talking about from step 2 onwards. So step 2 is setting up the keyword. Step 3 is about creating and optimizing the particular landing page for that keyword.
Precisely, yes. So we have this target keyword. In order to rank that keyword most effectively, the best practice advice, in my opinion, is to create a brand new landing page, a brand new page on your website that is solely dedicated to ranking for that keyword and slight variations of that keyword. So if we're going after Loft Conversions Mayfair, we're going to make a brand new page on our website. The main heading on that page is going to say Loft Conversions Mayfair. The page title tag, which you can, if you're using a WordPress website, you can often you can adjust with like a Yoast SEO plugin or a Rank Math SEO plugin. We want to make the title tag Loft Conversions Mayfair. We want to add a meta description, again with the keyword in there, plus some other information, maybe a call to action. I guess we could delve into more detail on how to do this, or maybe we've done that in a previous episode. But so very simply, create a brand new page, add the main heading of that page, your target keyword. In the SEO settings for that page, so if you're using WordPress or Wix or Shopify or whatever you're using, there's often a SEO settings section for that particular page. We're going to make the heading, the title, and the meta description all include our keyword.
So this is all about repetition, but when I say repetition, I mean repetition of our keyword and making sure we don't over repeat ourselves, but obviously it's essential that the keyword you are targeting is mentioned in the key bits of information and of data that search engines will crawl, correct?
Yeah, precisely.
So that's fairly straightforward. We're in the title, in the meta description, in the heading tags, we mention the keywords we are targeting. So in in this example, you're talking about loft conversions in Mayfair. Mention that in your title, in your meta description, and in your H tags as well.
Yes, and you can do it in a slightly more compelling fashion. So you could say, luxury loft conversions in Mayfair, or what are the benefits of a loft conversion in Mayfair, rather than just the exact match keyword and just sticking that everywhere, because it's not that compelling.
Yeah, agreed. And it's a balance as well, right? So I know Yoast, for example, will always say, have your keywords first in the sentence before you have any other word, because it helps. So that it will give you that warning, I believe. So, for example, loft conversions Mayfair, absolutely, it's not as compelling as luxury or professional loft. But now let's talk about content optimization. We've talked about our H tags.
Yes. So we spoke about the H tags, the title tag, the meta description. Those are all core elements, and as you mentioned, that's kind of what Google looks for when it's crawling a web page. In addition to that, the next most important thing, or maybe of equal importance, is the content on that page, and how engaging is it, how useful is it, and does it mean people are spending a lot of time on your page, or are they leaving instantly after they land on it? So there's a lot of ways you can think about optimizing your content. One of the best and easiest ways I think you could do yourself is to go to Google, type your keyword in, look at the top 10 results, and try to reverse engineer what is working currently. So if you go to Google, type in loft conversions Mayfair, you'll get 10 results. You can see what they've done, and what you'll probably see is they have a separate page for Mayfair. They probably have the keyword in the title, the heading, the URL, the meta description. But in addition to that, what else do they have on the page? Do they have a lot of images? Do they have videos? Do they have a get a quote section? How many words of content are they using? Maybe you could do a study. Look at the top 10 pages. What's the average word count? What's the most popular phrases used on those pages? And then make sure you do exactly the same on your own website, but make it slightly longer, maybe use those keywords slightly more.
It's a great bit of information there, Josh. So let's talk about a couple of questions. So we talked about loft conversions in Mayfair. I know we're going back to this whole keyword element. Does it matter? Does Google care if you have the word in?
Not hugely, no.
But if you can avoid it.
You can have the exact match phrase or not. It doesn't really matter. Google will kind of bucket those two keywords with the word in or without as the same phrase.
Perfect. So loft conversions in Mayfair or loft conversions Mayfair. So we've just typed loft conversions in Mayfair into Google. Lo and behold, the first search result that organically comes up, like we said, the H1 tag, so that the name of, so that the keywords in the search result is exactly loft conversions Mayfair. The meta description reads the following: we are a loft conversions builder with vast experience across the London borough of Mayfair, offering fixed price, bespoke and exquisite loft conversions. So they've mentioned the word loft conversions twice and the word Mayfair once. You click on it, and you can see from the URL, from the website, it has their name of their business, /towns/Mayfair. It's evident that, having a page for each town is very helpful, and we recommend you do the same. So moving on, let's talk about reverse engineering. You mentioned there looking at what they do and recutting that or reapplying what you've learned to your own page. Now, there is a rule of thumb, isn't there? I think, if I'm not mistaken, some of the kind of SEO experts say the number of words you should have on your landing page should be, some say a minimum of 500 words, some say a minimum of 700 words. Have you noticed kind of what the best practice is, or?
It does differ industry to industry. So some industries you might get away with 300 words, but others you might need 1,000. So it would be different for every business. On average, I would say it's around 700.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And having images, social proof, i.e., testimonials, And like you mentioned, having the ability to get a free quote on there as well is helpful. What's your take on landing pages which don't have any links except for the being able to call the supplier or the vendor? So, for example, a landing page typically will have a header and their menu, and you can navigate throughout their website. And some landing pages don't have the menu. You can't click anywhere else. They don't have any other links on the page except for the ability to contact them when you land on the landing page. What are your thoughts on that, and what best practice wise?
So there's pros and cons for both methods. With having a page without a header, without any links, and just kind of call to actions, you most likely will have a better conversion rate. So more people might end up phoning you or emailing you. But it may suffer from SEO. It's not really best practice from an SEO point of view, because you need internal links to other pages on your website, and you could argue it's a worse customer experience because they're not able to navigate to the home page or other pages on the website. I personally would have on your get a quote page or your contact page, I would say that's a great idea. Remove your navigation, so there's no links elsewhere, so you're focusing people's attention to buy. But on the landing page itself, I would have your navigation as normal.
Makes sense. What's next, Josh?
Next is the images. So we spoke about looking at the competitors, what kind of images do they have, what kind of numbers do they have. So I would make sure you replicate that and improve upon the numbers of images. But just as important is the image optimization. So there's a few elements about the image optimization. So there's the image file name. So before you upload the image to your website, you should rename the file Loft Conversion in Mayfair, or different variations of that keyword. You should also add the alt text attributes with the same keyword as the file name. Thirdly, we need to think about the size of the image as well, because that's going to impact your load speed. So you want to make sure you're kind of optimizing the file size before you upload it as well. So there's four things to look at. Firstly, what's the average number of images used on page one? Make sure you do the same, if not more. What's the image file name? Make sure you optimize that for the target keyword. Do the same for the image alt text. And then finally, make sure the speed is optimized by making the file sizes small.
Perfect. A couple of top tips. So alt text, just to remind everyone what that means, it's what stands for alternative text. It's a descriptive text that conveys a meaning of the image or visual content in a digital setting. Why is it important? For people with visual impairments and low vision, they can have some software which actually reads out loud what's on the screen. And so if you cannot see, if you have a visual impairment and you have an image on there, it will then say, this is an image of a man doing a loft conversion in a townhouse, for example. And the second top tip for you, for linking to what Josh said about file size, you can get some software which allows you to reduce the size of these images, and some of them are free, some of them are paid for. I like to, if you just type in, I don't know, if you're using WordPress, type in image compression plugin, optimize images. You can download one of those plugins to do so. Just have a little browse, and there are so many plugins out there to do that. You can also download the plugin which will automatically reduce any file you upload onto your website to a more manageable size without losing too much of the quality.
So the next step is making sure we optimize the links on your page. So rather than backlinks, which are external sites linking to your website, in this case, what we're thinking about is the internal links from your own website and external links going from your page. So just to explain that in more detail. So we've made this brand new landing page. We've optimized the headings, the titles, the content, the images, all for our keyword Loft Conversions in Mayfair. What we want to do now is we want to make sure that this page that we have is not what's called an orphan page. So an orphan page is a page that's not linked to from anywhere else on your website. if you have an orphan page, Google can't find it and you can't rank it. So we need to add some internal links to our new Loft Conversions in Mayfair page from elsewhere on our website. So we may want to create a areas covered page, or we may want to create a site map, or just add links to this Mayfair page from elsewhere on our website. So that's a critical step you need to undertake, otherwise your page will never be found.
Quick question for that, sorry, before you move on. Doesn't your sitemap help you do that, or is it just best practice to do so because it will help your Google crawling?
Yes, so if you have a sitemap that automatically updates, which most people do, some people don't, that will help with this. In addition to that though, the more internal links you add to your pages, the better, because if this page is very important, we want to have as many internal links as possible. That tells Google this page is a priority page on our website because so many other pages are linking to it. Therefore, if we do this areas cover page, if we add a link on the main navigation in the footer area, this is all going to help the page rank better.
Amazing. And then the final step about links?
So then external links as well. So here, it's been proven that if you link to external websites from your own website, it helps that website or web page in particular rank better. So what you could do is think, what are some authoritative sources in your industry? So if you're a loft conversion company, that might be the local planning regulator, it might be the local government website, it might be a BBC article about how if you have a loft extension, it increases your property prices by X%. So you want to include a few, 1 to 3 external links on your landing pages to other sources. I would make those open in new windows rather than in the same window, if I'm being a bit technical, so people don't leave your website and never come back.
Absolutely. So just to expand on that last point there, you can, when you create a link on your website, you can have it so it doesn't open a new window or a new tab, and instead, or vice versa. So what we're saying there, if you're navigating away from your website with a link, have it open a new tab. So the consumer will still have your website open on a different tab, right? But if you're linking internally, would you say open new tab or not?
Wouldn't need to if it's internal.
Perfect. And then the last point
here when optimizing your page is to have a call to action. So without a call to action, it's basically you're not asking the customer to do anything. They're just going to read and leave. So you want to add numerous call to actions throughout your landing page design. So that could be adding a phone number in the top right corner of the website. It could be adding a get a quote banner section somewhere, having various buttons all over the website. So just asking people to get in touch with you.
Perfect. Okay, so look, in part 2 of the journey of a keyword, we've talked about setting up keyword tracking, and we've talked about creating and optimizing the landing page. We're going to cut here, and please join us for part 3, episode 34, to talk about strengthening your new page with external links. With internal links, not external links. And then step 5, publishing, sharing the page, and step 6, monitoring performance and adjusting. Thank you for listening. My name's been Adam.
And I'm Josh.